Hey YouTube, coming at you with my first Great League Remix team, and even though this list is not updated on the site, we do know that these are 20 banned Pokemon. I was not far off. I guessed 19 Pokemon, and I think I hit on 16 of them. So this should not be a surprise list. I may not be a good battler anymore, but I definitely have my finger on the pulse of the Great League meta. I know all the ins and outs of the meta and what's strong and what's not strong. So Blastoise, Primeape, Marowak, Azumarill, Dunsparce, Scizor, Corsola, Altaria, Credility, Dusclops, Empoleon, Bastiodon, Gastrodon, 2 Togekiss just because it's got so strong this season. Stunfisk, and then down at the bottom to round it out is Talonflame, Dedenne, Corviknight, and Annihilate. So that leads us to the rankings. When you put all that in, it is very, very similar to what I put yesterday. I mentioned yesterday dragons should be near the top because a bunch of fairies and steels are gone, so that just makes dragon better, which is why you'll see my first team is the double dragon team. So a lot of dragons up at the top here. Some other Pokemon like Arcanines as number 1. I think that is because, again, steel and fairy, there's a lot of those that are banned. And Bug Bite is resisted by both of those, so that just kind of gives you a little head up there. Otherwise, Pokemon like Primeape and Annihilate are banned, which means we need a fighter. So Pangoro just kind of rises to the top. Diggersby, when the two of the main fighters are banned, Diggersby gets a little leg up right there. Plus a couple flyers being banned to help that cause too. Then you got your normals, Clodsire, and then you got Clodsire, Zweilous. Again, more dragons jumping up here. Bellybolt, Dedenne is banned, so I used it as a quasi replacement on my second team. You'll see this afternoon. Nope, Marowak is banned. I do not know why it did not work there. Marowak, Kanto. I thought I put it in correctly, but I guess it did not work. Maybe you're not supposed to put in Kanto. You're just supposed to put in Marowak. Anyways, so that is a list. Maybe with Marowak out, the list will change a little bit, but not too much. It's just basically bulky Pokemon that were good in Open Great League anyways. And a bunch of Pokemon where a lot of the weaknesses are now banned that just kind of rise to the top. So let's see if it updates here in the next like 20 seconds. No, we're not going to wait. We're going to exit and we are going to go to the team. Ninetales, Dragonair, Goodra. Double weak in the back to Ice and Fairy. A lot of Fairy banned. There's some Fairies still here. Ninetales has a fire resisting those. Weak to water and weak to water. The dragons will deal with that. Also weak to rock, but the dragons can kind of combo it. I only went sideways with this team. And why did I just go sideways with this team? Well, as you're going to see here, I won 1 lead against the other Ninetales. I had a couple evenish against Clodsire, and then I lost 7 leads to like waters and just straight like Pokemon that dominate me. Actually, this is kind of neutralish. So Bellybolt on the lead here. Again, I was hoping. I honestly would have preferred Sucker Punch because I would have got to the Overheat, but they actually had Thunder Shock, which means they did get to the Parabol Charge first, which is boost their defense, but I'm still going to go over the Heat, try to grab this shield and match it or chip it. And I have 2 dragons in the back. Both dragons resist electric, so out comes one Florges. I saw a lot of this Pokemon with so many fairies banned, Dedenne, Azumarill, Togekiss, a lot more Florges on as the main fairy Pokemon used. So Dragonair obviously has a pretty bad matchup here. We're going to have to just kind of spam these Aqua Tails and chip as much as we can. But you know what? Dragon Breath's resisted, but we just chipped twice. As you can see on the counts here. Loving these counts on the Dragon Breath, Body Slam, Aqua Tail, and even Thunder Punch on Goodra. Really strong here. Bellybolt comes in, so I'm going to make a catch here, knowing that Electric is resisted. So catch that electric move. The Dragon Breath is neutral. Just going to try and chip an Aqua Tail before they boost their defense again. Plus Thunder Punch is resisted, so that's a better reason. I'll get to a move, even if it's a Zap Cannon, which I think it may have been. You don't really care about that. You just let it go. Save the shields for Ninetales. That does a ton of damage. Zap Cannon is a nuke, so it's not surprising that it does a ton of damage. Getting to the Aqua Tail, I'm going to keep this alive, and in the back is a Dugong. So baiting first, because even if this does not land, like even if it landed, I would still chip that I could just kind of go back to back, but they did shield, and they have not tried to bait me yet, so I'm just going to go for that Overheat. Do an insane amount of chip. Now the problem is I still need to throw. quickly because my goodra basically has no health left, and they make a catch. Now that had some HP left, and I think they just missed time there because I just got a full Ember through, which means I'm at another charge move and I'm going to win CMP here, even though they throw another. I don't know why they're throwing so many moves when they have a move. So I think a little maybe over farm on my opponent's play there. Ninetales against Galarian Moltres. Okay, this is actually decent, not decently. This is an okay lead. They gave up into Swampert. Maybe that's kind of why I thought about so many water Pokemon, because it seemed like even the leads that were neutral, they immediately got into like 1 or 2 water Pokemon. So while Hydro is resisted, Sludge is neutral, and the Sludge comes quick, right? It comes at the same pacing at 10, so it's going to come pretty quick. Aqua Tail slightly faster on the pacing. You know, I probably... I'm fighting for switch here. I don't know why. It's not like they have an amazing... I don't have like an amazing matchup in the front. And you kind of want to save shields. But Galarian Moltres does come in. I am going to get to a Thunder Punch. This grabs a shield if I remember. And they are going to come into the farm down. Which I don't love getting farm down here. But I think I was just like trying to figure out like where do I want to go and what do I want to do here. So I will go in with the Ninetales, will shield up a move. Going to get to a move here. And then I either catch or do I just try and force them to throw a move here? Yeah, just force them to throw a move here. Again, Dragonair, not a lot of huge answers to Dragonair, right? There's definitely some it's a huge spider walking up my wall here. Definitely some ice and stuff and fairies, but not a ton. And hello, Clodsire. Clodsire will have a nuke. Not a nuke, but like enough to take me out here. So if they get to another move here, they're going to take me out. But the Aqua Tail super effective. Dragon Breaths have added up. And now I am 2 from an overheat. And overheat does like 75-80%. So no problem there. Ninetales into Charjabug. Good lead. I guess I had more good leads, but again, there's your water. I think I just like remembered all these water Pokemon I ran against. Because I remember running into like 7 Quagsires and Swamperts. So maybe I was just thinking about that even if they weren't directly on the lead here. But I had a good lead. Shielded up a potential hard-hitting Stone Edge. Getting to a second move. I know I'm just going to outpace. So if they shield... I think I do not shield. And the reason I do not shield is because Dragon also resists electric. So I didn't feel like I had to shield because I can just come in here. And even if the Charjabug comes in, I know I can do it. Now, I'm worried about an ABB style team. So I basically farm up and then just try and catch. And it is something in the back that beats fire. That should not be surprising. So I still think Dragonair was my win con. So I'm like, okay, I'll just farm, come in here, and then know that is my win con. I lowered my attack. You know, argument that maybe I should have thrown the Weather Ball to chip, but my attack is now 2 times lowered and it's resisted. I wouldn't have done like basically nothing. So I felt like I had to go to the overheat there. Body Slam still enough to take out. And now it is a race. And the question is, does one X Scissor take me out? Or does one Aqua Tail take them out because they are going to have a shield here? So there's the X Scissor. Takes me to 1 HP. I'm at 2 moves. I don't remember if I even get the second move off. Or that Volt Switch took me out. Yeah, that Volt Switch takes me out. Go down. Clodsire lead. I remember the Clodsire lead because if it's a Sludge Bomb, they'll pace you, but then they'll show you they have a Sludge Bomb. If they go for the Stone Edge or Earthquake, you're just going to pace. And both times I just go overheat here, if I remember 2 matchups here. And both times lands, instant swap. To be met with the Dugong. Not the first Dugong I saw. I think I saw a few of them. You know, some of the tough matchups Empoleon and Azumarill are out. Dragons are highly ranked because, as I mentioned, all the steals and not all the steals, but a lot of steals and fairies are banned. So Dugong has some play in this meta, especially if you're going to see a lot of dragons. But Dragonair really putting in the work there. I'm worried that they will have a move coming out, which was a drill run, which would be super effective. So I'm going to save this. You know, I took the Clodsire pretty low. So I have energy. I may just instant catch here and bank this energy. That's exactly what happens. And it's a fortress in the back. So it'll be nice to have my Ninetales on this, but I am down shields and Dragon Breath is resisted. So they are going to have a pretty good matchup here. As you can see here, 2 Aqua Tails are not going to take out because the Dragon Breaths are resisted, which means they are going to potentially just over farm here. So here is another Aqua Tail. And because I don't count, but I just launched 3 Aqua Tails against this thing. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's like 27, 28. So even if they have a Rock Tomb here, they're probably pretty close to a second Rock Tomb. And I didn't know how close. So I just took it out immediately because I don't want to take a Rock Tomb. And I was hoping that this thing was low enough that if I could like shield and go from there. But they do Sludge Bomb me, which means now they're going to easily go for the nuke. I'm not going to get to the move. So I will be taken out there. Swampert. There's the Swampert lead. Lots of Swamperts and Quagsires. And just to get hit with the Dugong is just not a good combo here. Not much I can do here. Swampert lead into a Dugong safe swap. Have to see what's in the back here, but essentially goodra is going to have to try and sweep the entire team, which is always tricky to do when you have bad front and bad middle alignment. I did grab 1 shield though, and they're going to have to throw. I'm pretty sure I do just try and go 2 shield goodra. I know I can live with a drill run. It's non-stab from a Dugong, so you'll live it. So I'm pretty sure I just let this go, knowing that even the sludges are going to chip goodra, so I kind of had to. So going to throw this. I'll instant swap. If the Swampert throws any charge move, Hydro Cannon or Sludge, it's going to be an instant shield because it's just going to be a safe swap. And it is a Charizard in the back. So Dragon Breath, Charizard, unfortunately. So those Dragon Breaths are doing super effective, really adding up. I may shield. I'm just worried that the Air Cutter, especially if they like boost their attack, you can see like I'm already in the yellow. If I take an Air Cutter, that's going to basically chip me out of this. So I had to shield. I still have a shield, but the problem is I'm not going to get to the move before they get to their move. And look, I need to try and chip here because I don't know. Like Ninetales, I didn't know how much energy I had on Ninetales if I can get to like an overheat. Overheat probably would have taken out, but the Aqua Tail not enough. And do take them down to like a couple HP. But if they have a move, I'm going to lose. If they don't, maybe a couple embers to take them out. Or 2 embers and a Weather Ball. So there you go. Swampert lead, Dugong. And then a Charizard in the back that I'm able to overcome there. This was a good lead. I don't even know if I won this one, but this was a good lead. Moltres on the front here. Just chipping. I'm making it obvious that I'm chipping. I want them to let it go to basically just put them in Dragon Breath range. Because as you can see, a ton of damage there. I will respect the move. I assume that they'll just go Brave Bird and try and grab a shield for me. Like, take me out or flip switch, right? So I'll respect that. Knowing I can just Dragon Breath down. I'm not worried too much about the Ninetales just chipping the crap out of me here. Or like farming up a bunch. We'll chip. Right, here comes the second one. They may have to throw. Because I don't think they can Powder Snow down before I get to a third one. Yep, so they're going to have to throw here. And they do. Which means I have alignment back. But now I'm down 2v1. With a little bit of a glassy Dragonair. And yep, it is the Quagsire. I may have been wrong on the leads. But I wasn't wrong with the number of Swamperts and Quagsires I saw. It was a lot. So getting to the next Body Slam. I keep throwing Body Slam. I don't even know, quite honestly. Maybe I'll just check it right now. What the damage per... Because it's the same counts. So with the same counts, you should be throwing the harder hitting move. But I don't know what that is. Anyways, they do take me out. And now, even though I do get to move, it leaves them with, I think, 1 HP. Which they live, unfortunately. Both 60... Really? Interesting. So 1 HP. Do take it out. Oh, I do win this matchup because I remember them getting a Weather Ball off, which is resisted, and then I take them out for the win. 35 energy, 66 damage. Both energy ball, both Body Slam and Aqua Tail, 1.89 damage per energy on the Shadow Dragonair. So does not matter. Just in neutral matchups, fine. Yep, there's your Quagsire lead. Throw Aqua Tail and it's super effective, sort of thing. Throw Aqua Tail when Body Slam's resisted. Quagsire lead into my Ninetales. Get met with the Charmer Wigglytuff. I'm going to lose this matchup. Like, I don't see how in any scenario I come out of this matchup a win. And it just felt like that was a lot of that. So even though I had a couple neutral leads, they immediately met with Quagsires and Swamperts. So I think we saw a Quagsire and Swampert in all but one matchup so far, which is very tough when you're running Ninetales. So basically sacrificing this, just knowing that Dragonair has to run and, you know, Shadow Dragonair is a little glassy, that you want to save shields for it. So we'll instant swap here. I will have to respect any move, even if it's an Aqua Tail. Does not matter. Got to shield it up. It is an Aqua Tail. And it is a Crest in the back, and Crest is very bulky, and this is where you're going to see a similar idea to the team that I ran with the Talonflame for the last Jungle Cup. Glassy lead with bulk in the back. That feels like what it kind of is here. You got more of a, not super glassy Quagsire, but a more glassy Quagsire and Crest in the back just to absorb all this damage. So that's what I tried to do with Greninja team coming up. I have a Greninja with some bulky Pokemon in the back. Did pretty well. I'm up to like 25, 70 something. So we'll go from there. Back-to-back moves on the Crest, just too bulky of a Pokemon. Clodsire. So seen this. Overheat and Bail. Again, you have two dragons. You need to try to draw out that fairy or whatever in the back anyways. So we're just going to go straight Overheat, grab that shield, or chip it to the deep yellow, and instant swap here. This time I go into Goodra. More of, if they're going to throw a move, I'd rather just take it on the Goodra that has a little more bulk than the Dragonair. Sometimes you see me swap to Dragonair. Sometimes you see me swap to Goodra. There's no, like, right answer. I think both play fine as safe swaps. Both have very similar movesets. A little more damage from the Shadow Dragonair, a little more bulk on the Goodra. And it is a Golisopod. So Goodra getting to the Thunder Punch. We'll grab a shield. I don't think I'm going to get to another one. Yeah, I've got like 1 HP. So I'm just going to chip. Any chip is fine here. Going to come Dragonair. Because obviously do not want to just come into a loaded Golisopod that has Aqua Jets. So I'll take one. If they go back to back, I'll probably shield up the second one. Because I still just don't know what's in the back yet. And what is in the back? It is a Charizard, and it is a Ember Charizard at that. So Ember being resisted. Here comes the first Aqua Tail. And I think they just lost count of how quick this thing spams 9998 on these Aqua Tails and Body Slams. Get into another move. Have a shield. Golisopod. Just going to spam this out with Weather Ball. Yeah, this is a very spammy team. 8s to the Weather Ball, 9 to the Body Slam and Aqua Tail, and even only 10 to a Thunder Punch. So very, very spammy. Okay lead. Pretty good lead, I guess, with Steelix. Met with a Dragonair. Again, another answer to fire. And when, you know, when you're coming in behind on energy in a mirror match-ish, you're in trouble. And Dragonair has Wrap. And I totally forgot that it has Wrap. I did not change it on mine, mostly because, you know, running low on TMs. And I had Body Slam and Aqua Tail, as a lot of people do. You just run with whatever you have. Wrap is the recommended moveset. So Wrap does only 6 more damage, so the damage per energy is worse, but it guarantees to lower your opponent's defense. So being able to throw that and lower your opponent's defense is pretty huge. And then they have Jelson in the back, which is going to very easily take out both Pokemon, because I have no charge moves on the Dragonair, and obviously everything's resisted on the Ninetales. So I'm going to go down this one. I think this is my last matchup. Yeah. So, you know, the ban list is not surprising. Again, I guessed out of the 20, I guess 19, because Togekiss is on there twice. I think I guessed about like 14 of those, 15. I only put in Annihilate and they put in Primeape. I didn't even think about Blastoise, which I should, because I was on every single one of my teams. Yeah, you should not be surprised by the meta. What have I seen so far? Obviously a lot of Quagsires and Swamperts. You know, there's already so few grass, and Credilli just got banned. So take away one of the main grasses. It makes sense that the Mud Boys have a little more freedom. Your staples. I saw Ferret. I saw Clodsire. I saw Galarian Moltres. I saw Wigglytuff. So some of those that, not that I'm surprised they didn't get banned. Actually, I'm surprised that Wiggly didn't get banned. But some of those that were like borderline strong anyways, they are still out there. Have not seen Pangoro yet, but you know, with both fighters banned, maybe you start seeing that a bit more. Dusknoir is not banned, right? Dusknoir is pretty high in the rankings, and I tried to use that on the lead for once, and I just didn't like it. Yeah, so there's options. There's tons of options here. So you're gonna see my what's it called? Greninja bulk team coming this afternoon, and we will go from there. So let me know in your thoughts what you're playing, what you're using, if there's any cores that you think are working early on, and we'll go from there. So appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.